So, welcome back to my second video on watching Jujutsu Kaisen. If you haven't already seen my first video, go back, watch that first. Now, let's go on to the end of the season. Episode 13. We find out that Mahito can only be hit by Yuji, most likely to Sukuna's power. And Mahito begins to lose the fight and uses their domain expansion, trapping Fushiguro inside. We see some Fushiguro backstory as Yuji smashes through Mahito's domain expansion. And they end up winning the fight, but Mahito escapes through the sewer. Episode 14. We first start this episode with meeting who Jujutsu Tech is fighting on the exchange in battle, as well as the rest of Jujutsu Tech finding out Yuji isn't dead after 2 months of thinking he was. You guys remember that, right? They thought he was dead. Turns out he wasn't. And they thought he was dead for like 2 months, and then he's just fucking back, and then they're like, oh yeah, cool, that's awesome. They don't care that much. Like, what? Episode 15. The event starts off with Yuji being immediately separated from the rest of Jujutsu Tech, and Yuji has to fight Todo, who is the muscly guy that likes big booty women. And Todo asks the question to Yuji, what is your type? To which Yuji says, big booty woman, which causes Todo to go into a 2-minute dream montage of Todo dreaming about hanging out with Yuji. And the two fight a bit before Yuji is surrounded by the rest of the Kyoto students. Episode 16, we get a Panda episode. First off, we find out that Panda, named Panda, isn't a panda. He's a cursed corpse, kind of like the puppet in episode 2. And he's fucking strong as shit, tanking a huge blast from the robot. Pause. Anyway, he then turns into a fucking gorilla mode, my goat, and of course he wins the fight against the robot because he's in gorilla mode. You guys understand that, right? Gorilla mode is awesome. Episode 17, a new form of curse technique is introduced named Construction, which allows users to form items with cursed energy. Other than that, this is a fighting episode that you should go watch on your own. Episode 18. Another new curse technique is introduced, which allows the user to manipulate blood, including their own. Megami shows his new summon, which is a giant elephant. A man is shown making the sky brown. This is known as a veil that can deny entry to one or more people from entering. In this case, Gojo is the one person denied entry. 2 episodes after Panda goes gorilla mode, an old ass man plays a riff on an electric guitar. I am starting to see the hype in this show. And an unregistered specialty grade curse is shown. Episode 19, grades on cursed objects are introduced. Megami has a curse implanted on him, and Maki is knocked unconscious as the big booty like him best friend descends from the sky, and a fighting technique is introduced known as Black Flash, which requires a Jujutsu sorcerer to apply cursed energy within 0.0000001 seconds after a physical hit. Episode 20. Todo's technique is properly introduced. His technique allows him, or anything with a hint of cursed energy, to swap with anything else with cursed energy. By the way, Todo is fucking cool as hell. I don't know if I mentioned that. Another outsider is introduced, and Gojo manages to break through the veil. Then he does some purple shit. I guess it's his, like, final smash or something. Episode 21. Mahito states that they possess multiple different cursed objects of, like, different grades and stuff. And Pseudo is revealed that he was the one that killed Junpei's mother. Fushiguro's plant thing is a font, is what it's called. And the sorcerers decide to continue the event despite what happened previously. And this next event is baseball. Finally a break from lore. Never mind. These fuckers are off talking about killing the main character. Episode 22. Episode starts. You find out some cursed serial killer is going to people that were in the same middle school graduation. Making their doors stop working, then just killing them. Fushiguro is revealed to have gone to the same graduation as most of the victims. The first years head off to a bridge for a lead in this investigation, and we find out that Fushiguro has an older sister that has doors that, are messing about. And the curse they've been looking for is found after crossing the river. Also, it just went to the next episode. I actually have no clue who won the Sister School event. So, episode 23. Kugisaki is taken through black sludge by a buff man. Vegeta! You're back! I missed you so dearly. Megami uses domain expansion for the first time, winning him the fight. And we get some Megami lore after. Episode 24. Kugisaki stabs herself, which hurts the brothers. Kugisaki stabs a nail into one of the brothers, then explodes him up. So the buff one hops in a truck and gets away, only for Kugisaki, my goat, to stab into a straw doll, which harms him, for him to fall onto Yuji's fist, winning them the fight. They then meet up with Megami, where Yuji eats another finger, making it 4 out of 20 curses. Now that we're done with the first season, before we get into my ranking of this anime, I ask you guys to please hit that subscribe button, comment on what anime you want me to review next, and without further ado, let's go into my 5 categories. Firstly, plot. Now, the plot of JJK, in my opinion, is a little lacking. It's not all bad. The fact that Yuji is the quote-unquote host of the main villain, which is Sukuna, is a pretty cool concept. There's nothing like really bad about it, but there's nothing too good for it, so I'm gonna give that a 5.5. Now, the animation, on the other hand, is fire. There are so many good fights and scenes where the animation carries. Like, genuinely, it is so good. Like, 9 out of 10. Now, another segment that really carries is the characters. There are some parts in this show which I think are funny from the characters. And if people didn't consistently meet ride Gojo, this would be higher. 7.5 out of 10. Now, for the pacing, I think this show paces decently. It's not like One Piece pacing, but it's not like the greatest pacing I've ever seen. The first 12 episodes had really great pacing, but they did spend a long time just talking about the exchange event, which I didn't really like, so I'm going to do 6.5 out of 10. Finally, the soundtrack. Songs from the show have been played in the background of this video and the last. There are some songs, like specifically the Yuji and Fushiguro versus Mahito fight, that had like a phenomenal song playing in the background, which was just like, it's so good. So I'm going to give that a 7 out of 10. Which, after adding all those scores, we get a 7.1 out of 10. I've heard a lot more about the second season, so hopefully it gets a higher score in the next season. But with that, go down, hit that subscribe button, leave a like, and comment what anime you want to see next.